Welcome to Nobody Cares. Knowledge Bites, strategic insights on leadership, scaled for the ambitious, and delivered in less than 5 minutes.
In today's Knowledge Bite, we are going to tackle the illusion of communication. Here is the bottom line. You're going to learn two things today. First, why your noble intent is actually sabotaging your leadership. And second, how you can stop being a broadcaster and being more of a high-impact communicator. George Bernard Shaw hit the nail on the head when he said the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. As executives, we live in the state of constant transmission. We send the Slacks, we hop on the Zoom, we deliver the keynote, and because the message is crystal clear in our head, we assume that it's just clear in the head of the audience. And we rely on our intent. We think, I meant to be helpful and I intended to be direct. But here is the clinical reality. Your intent is completely invisible. Your team doesn't live in your head. They live in the wake of your words. And in the world of high-stake leadership, your intent is a baseline, but it's the impact that's really the only thing that's going to move the needle. I've spent 3 decades in the biggest names in tech, at Microsoft, Oracle, and Google, 4 startups, and I've seen $1 million projects fail, not because the strategy was wrong, but because the communication was just poor. I used to think that as long as I was transparent, I was doing my job. But when I looked into the cognitive science of this, I realized that there are filters, stress, bias, past experiences, and when you send a message, it has to pass through the recipient's filters. If you aren't accounting for those filters, you aren't communicating, you're just making noise. I've seen leaders cause this organizational whiplash simply because they focused on what they said rather than what was received. They were broadcasting while the rest of the team was tuning into a completely different frequency. So now how can you fix this? Well, you got to move from intent to inquiry. High-performance communication requires a feedback loop. You have to stop assuming and start verifying. I use a very simple 3-step framework that I call the impact audit. It forces you to pause and ask, how did that land? What did you hear me say? It sounds simple, but it's the difference between a team that is aligned and a team that's just nodding. And we have to treat communication just like a product launch. You don't just ship it and hope it's going to do the best. You monitor the landing, the telemetry. You measure the impact. I've put together this communication telemetry cheat sheet that helps you audit your own impact before you hit send. You can find it in my Substack at carcast.substack.com. You have to subscribe, of course, but it's 100% free. It'll take you to the post that's called The Illusion of Communication. And I know if you're moving fast and you can't find the archive, really simple, just message me on LinkedIn or Substack or comment impact on any of the posts you see, and I will send you that framework directly.
That wraps up another episode of Nobody Cares. For more, head over to carcast.substack.com. That's carcast.substack.com.